Good Friday to you, my friend. I hope your Friday is good. You are blessed. You are happy. You're living the life to the fullest that you can. And it's me again, Athletics Without Boundaries, your spokesperson, the place you stop for the latest, if at all I do have the latest. I think this is the whole story, but it's worth investigating, interrogating it, asking questions. What happened in London? What is 1:59:30 means to marathon? That's the conversation. I'm trying to be trendy. I'm trying to keep up with what the world is talking about. And the world is asking this question. What did Lord SEB SAWE do? What is 151:30, 150, no, 159:30, 159:41 by Emperor of Ethiopia? Yomif Kechelche do. And the Lord of the marathon right now in Lord SEB SAWE do in 159:30. What is all that about? There's a lot of questions, a lot of unanswered questions. One thing we know, there's no barrier right now in 2 hours. Well, that's one thing we know. We know the results. We have the results. And I ask you, my audience, are these things world record and arbitrary barriers we put to make sports exciting? Are these created barriers? We make it, then we break it. We create barriers. Okay, 4 minute barrier for women. Okay, we didn't see that before and we haven't seen it now. Faith Kipyegon tried it, it didn't work out. Eliud Kipchoge tried this barrier of 2 hours a few years ago, and well, he went on 51, but it wasn't ratified, it wasn't official. So we've created these phenomena, we've created these things we claim to discover. It's like people saying they discovered the continent of Africa or they discovered America. Is it really a discovery? Is it? Or it depends on who writes the story. So are we writing the story of the fact that Lord SEB SAWE is the first man to go under 2 hours because we didn't have anybody else? I wonder, we humans are very complicated animals and we create problems, then we solve it, then we say we've solved the problem that we created. Some people say COVID was manufactured and we came up with these vaccines that we have no idea what's next. We create wars, then we make peace. You know where I'm going with this? So we are very interesting part. So we pollute the planet and then we come up with solutions on how to reverse that. Okay, we come up with diseases that some people are like, hey, AIDS came from a monkey in Africa, and so we come up with all this stuff. So sometimes people, that's why I think conspiracy theories thrive in this environment. They do. And even back in the days, let me go to sports where people even claim that if women ran 10,000 meters, they will die. Some men believe that, even some women, that women weren't even allowed to run marathon in Boston back in the days. So we've come a long way, yes, but I think these are almost imposed limits, if I may say that word lightly, or because we haven't seen it before. So you're like, oh my God, oh, look, Lord SEB SAWE ran 159:30. Okay. And now what is it even more? The bigger questions for this barrier in as I speak to you guys this Friday. By the way, happy Friday, okay? I think I delved into it without even wishing you a happy Friday. Happy, peaceful, restful Sabbath or Shabbat to those who see the Sabbath coming upon us on this sunset in Northwest. So having said all that, so the conversation here even gets a little bit muggy, a little bit of it gray. It gets into these areas of what are we talking about? And I think a fan of mine today, laughingly, jokingly, interestingly, nonchalantly engaged me in a conversation by asking, is it the shoe or the athlete? Michael Jordan had this. Michael Jordan created a shoe that they associated his performance with the shoe. And I remember a commercial saying, "It got to be the shoes, man. That's why Michael Jordan is dunking that high. That's why he's flying over the rim. And even now, with these 159, people are asking, is it Adidas shoe or it is Lord SAWE of Kenya who is to take credit here? Who takes credit? Listen to the coach of Sebastian SAWE speaking. He says that there's no doubt we are in the new era of marathon running because of the shoe. But I would even also say because of proper fueling. Right now, with that statement, if you stop there, this is almost like SAWE is getting almost the leftovers of the credit of this new 159. Of course, he continues to say that, oh, we are super glad for Adidas. He's a corporation he's promoting here. He knows what's coming. His check is going to be very fat. I understand that. And of course, he continues to say that we are super glad for Mountain. They have both come to Kenya so many times to support us because I believe all of us realize that Sebastian was not just a good one, but a special one. Okay, he completes the narrative. He holistically embraces everybody in this triumph, in this smashing of the 2 hours. He finally does that. But in the beginning, if you had stopped there, there's almost this idea of a fragmented praise. So some people are like this naturalist and the scientist. There's always this phenomenon of this or the other. Are they mutually exclusive? Can they coexist and make things better? I believe that. I believe science has helped us a long way. It has combated disease that we have created sometimes. If you talk of, we have COVID, some people say it was the environment that we haven't cared about how we crisscross the animal kingdom, hence that problem. And so sometimes I wonder when you look at that, but yet, if you step back a little bit, you realize that as much as we can say that, science and the natural world can exist and exist to make it better. Hence, this triumph of both Adidas, Mountain, which is a Swedish company that have come up with a very interesting carb intake or a nutritional value component that help this athlete make the 159. It is called Adrogel, which is a super fueling um, product that they've come up with, and it is supposed to be like it bypasses the natural digestive system. And so I think because it does that, it doesn't go through all the check of the digestive system before it goes and reignites or replenishes what an athlete has been losing as they've been running. So it is a shortcut. It's like a IV where you inject yourself with what people get IV because their fluid level is so low. Or some people, they are low on blood, so they get blood transfusion. So right now, the science world and this company in particular, Mountain is a sweet company. They've come up with this gel you just put in your mouth or something like that. Let me read to you what it says here. There's something here that it's kind of, and in fact, there's another thing that they've added to this thing is that the key difference with the Adrogel is that it bypasses the gut indigestion, helping athletes to fuel more while avoiding gastro issues. It's interesting how they call gastro issues, because the natural system is slow. Okay? If you're talking of digestive system, as they're saying here, they call it an issue. So gastro issue is that it's very slow, methodical, it has its own pace. You can say hasten up or you cannot hasten the process of the gastro system. So this gel or this hydrogel bypasses that. And because it does that, it fuels the depleting resources within the system of the athlete. Hence, their performance stays steady or even faster. It reminds me of NASCAR. If you've watched our Formula One, where the cars are running and they run out of fuel, they stop, they change the tires, they put some gas in there, and the car keeps going. That's, I think, is a pit stop. They call it pit stop. That's exactly what's happening to these marathon runners. And I remember Sebastian Sawe in the 25th mile, he stopped. And Yomif Kechecha skipped that stop. It cost him. If you remember, go back and watch that. That's what I remember. And I was like, hey. And even the commentators was like, the commentators didn't understand what Sawe was doing. Sawe has been doing this in his training. He cannot miss the pit. He can't miss the stop where he has to refuel his system. And that, if you noticed, after he took that drink, he just took off. It's as if the engine says, yeah, I got it now. The system is like, I'm happy now. I'm back to normal. Everything went faster for him. And by the, after, it wasn't very much after he took that he dropped Yomif and went on to win the London Marathon. That's exactly what is going on here. There's an idiot component of the fueling substance that is fascinating to me. Bicarbonate sodium. You know what that is? It's baking soda and is used in baking and used in cakes. And according to this science world here, it is known to enhance performance. It does by buffering hydrogen ions, but often interferes with the gut. Hello, I have some in my cabinet. Should I try that? Should I try that, guys? You'll see me running faster too. I think I'm interested in this hydrogel. If it can replenish, if the body can be able to reboot fast and recover fast and have enough fuel. Some of us who perform a certain level, I'm not that fast anymore. I wish these things were there during our time. We had it, but we didn't know how to use it. This science has come a long way. We have to appreciate that. And so for me, the whole take from what I'm reading here is that there are many players to the success of the 159.30. Let's begin with the natural world first of all. Let's give credit to Lord Sebastian Sawe. Let's give him credit. This guy, DNA, genetically, is talented. He's an exceptional guy. So far, we know that. He's a 202 coming into London. So we cannot discredit that. He didn't come here, like a recreational runner. He came here like a top athlete. You add that to the shoe. Let's give it to Adidas. Adidas is running away with this one, my friend. He's going to run away. In fact, I saw something about there's a movie or some kind of a show where they are showing what happened with this shoe and their athlete, of course. They are selling the product. You know how they do it. And then we have great coaches. And then you have this refueling system. And you have whatever. There's a lot of players here that made this happen. So we have to look at it holistically. I think this idea of zooming into the shoe is what Adidas likes to do. Don't get me wrong. It's about the bottom line. They invest so much into the technology of making this shoe, the way they designed it, the way they tested it. It's a lot of money to test these shoes, and to see success for them is a win-win. It's money in the bank, my friend. That's why they're a great company. Adidas has been around, by the way, longer than Nike. Nike is not coming on this conversation at all. They tried with Eliud Kipchoge, it didn't work. Maybe it could be Kipchoge it's not Sebastian Sawe. They're all different category of athletes. But it's a win for Adidas. It's a win for the sweet company Martens with a refueling hydrogel. It's a win for the camp of Adidas in Kapsabet. And most of all, is a win for these young men. There was an interesting read I got from the welcoming party in Kenya. The father was not even able to watch it because he didn't have a good television or reception. So that's where we are in Kenya, okay? This guy is successful. He's a world phenom. He's traveled around the world. But look at this. At the moment where it's a glorious moment for the family and the father, he could not watch the last part of the race because the coverage in his television was pathetic. It makes it makes me more laughable when you see the ceremonies in Kenya. Listen, there's time to celebrate. Kenyans deserve this moment. They own this moment. But for me, sometimes I ask this question. I remember Faith Kipyegon saying that when she was about to go do the 4-minute trial to be the first woman to break the 4 minutes, She had no track. She could not even train because they were being renovated. And the government of the day did not even care about that. Okay, they did not care. They didn't. They did not even step up and say, hey, we need to make sure that Faith is having a training facility. And I wonder how much they knew of even Sebastian SAWE training and how much they knew about the well-being of the parent, of the father not even having television. Yet, when it's all said and done, they are the first one to come there and take photos with this winner. Listen, okay, you can celebrate it. But I usually wonder about the ecosystem. I usually wonder about the supporting casts. Where is the government when this guy was putting his life on the line in London to break this record? Trust me, if they were there, they were just there like anybody else watching it on television. Okay? But when it's all said and done, they'll take photos with this celebrity, a phenom, and give them $60,000 and a car and a ceremony and a parade and all that stuff. But for me, what worries me more than anything else is to hear a father, his own family, this guy's family, didn't have a television in this day and age. And these guys running for Adidas. Listen, I laugh because I know the system. The system just like to have photo ops. These leaders of the country, they enjoy when you win and you win in this style. They'll be there saying, hey, welcome to the State House. But when it's all said and done, it is an individual world. It's about Lord Sebastian SAWE. I'll say that again. It's not about these guys who show up and give them what this money is good, $60,000. Okay, this guy Adidas and London paid him 3 times that. Okay, he can add to that. But why is it that they couldn't even build his father a house and give him a television so he could watch his son running in London? I'm just asking these questions. Not in a condemning way, not in a critical way. But sometimes it's about this. Where were you when these athletes and their families needed you most? Where is the infrastructure when they are training? Is there a training facility in Kapsabet that is up to the par of these athletes, or it was Adidas who built it for them? Understand they train in Baraton University track, which is just across from Kapsabet. They don't have a supporting system. The systems don't work. It's all about moments where they can be in the limelight for me. So I'm not a big fan of these parades in Kenya after the fact. Where were they before this moment? To hear a father having no viewing on national television is pathetic. I say that. Lord Sebco, not Sebco, Sob, please, not Sebco. Seb SAWE is the Lord here. Hey, my friend, it's about the triumph of science, the triumph of Adidas, the triumph of the athlete in the name of Seb SAWE, his coaches, his family, his wife, and the father. That is a triumph here. It's not just one piece. It's all the pieces put together to create 159.30. And the emperor from Adidas, my friend, Yomif Kechelcha, we have to give him a shout out. That guy debuted, my friend. He ran for the first time in a marathon in London. This guy is in third heaven with a 159.41 opening marathon for that guy. That guy trains here in Portland, I'm told. There's an Adidas office down the street. These guys are the best right now on the planet in marathon. Have a great weekend. Chelsea, you need to rise up, my friend. I cannot have any more losses this weekend. I said it. Good day. Good night. Be blessed, amigos.